Welcome everyone. Welcome. How we doing? How is everyone doing today? We are now live. Welcome, Yoda. How you doing, my friend? Nice to see you. We are about to get underway. Just getting some. Well, we're just waiting for Ziroy to make his way over, and then we can get started. I do apologize for the Discord sound. So just waiting for Ziroy, and then we can get started. But we'll take you through some of the maps for today. As I'm just gonna pop the music down because I can't actually hear myself think. So we're gonna have a best-of-5 between Mr. Red Dragon's Ziroy and Killa from the DeVoid clan. It would be a Terran versus Protoss. As I said just a moment ago, it is a best-of-5. And the first map that this series is going to take us to is going to be Pylon. Unfortunately, because Liquipedia gets confused between the map Pylon and the building Pylon, we don't have any statistics from Liquipedia for this map. So yeah, it could be Terran favored, it could be Protoss favored. I do not know. As a Protoss player, I quite enjoy playing on this map, but I'm sure Terrans probably enjoy it as well. Say for example, the first map goes to Killa or to Ziroy, and we then pop on to Incorporeal. This is a map which is very Protoss favored in the TvP matchup, so would be likely to see Killa take the win on this map, but anything can happen. Say Ziroy would then to take that one. We then pop along to Maganatha, and this is the last of our first 3 sets of maps. So the match may end here, but we may also require a 4th map, and if so, that map will be on Tokamak. And if we need the 5th map, we're going to pop along to Persephone as our kind of ace match. But to start with, before we get anywhere close to any ace maps, making our way onto Pylon to start with. So we're just waiting for the players to get on. Ziroy is joining on his RD account. So we've got RD Ziroy versus DeVoid's Killa. Just gonna pop into the map before we get started. I'm gonna create with mod server ++. There we go. Oh. And then we can get all started up. Just race check, no match history, DeVoid, referee. Go. So both players are ready to get started into match 1. So this is going to take us onto Pylon. I'm not sure why Maganatha is showing up, but it is on Pylon, our first match. So we pop into the lobby for the first map of this series. So Terran versus Protoss. Voidcoin bets may be available in the Voidcoin channel, so just make sure you give that a check before we get started. But for the first time this series, spawning in the top left-hand corner in the purple Protoss, playing for DeVoid, the German man himself is Killa. And in the bottom right-hand corner, the British man playing for Red Dragons with that lovely logo. We've got the Yellow Terran, Ziroy. So Ziroy is impartial to a little bit of a cheeky build. So we're already seeing something a little bit cheeky with this gas first. The point of the gas first is essentially to try and get some sort of quicker gas units out. So for example, the factory will be similar timing to that of the double gas, but won't quite be the same time. It's almost like a mimic of a double gas, except you don't have to commit the extra workers and you can still get the minerals a little bit earlier on as well. So it's a nice little fake build as both workers actually miss each other, but Killa's going to send this probe across the map as I pop the production tab on. Someone's probably going to remind me. Killa just patrolling outside. Team Roscoe, good luck, boys. Well, welcome, Roscoe. Nice to see you. I'm sure you're getting your notepad out for some of these builds that Ziroy might be deploying at Epic Land, maybe. To see the probe doing a little bit of harass. eBay block here for Ziroy. Killa is currently unaware of this. He is going to be made aware of it somewhat soon as this probe then makes its way down into the natural. So Killa is now going to be aware of this eBay block. So it depends on how Killa is going to choose to respond to this. Does he make the Zealot? So from his gateway, does he make a Zealot? No, he's not making a Zealot to begin with. He's just going to pull probes instead. We see a gas steal as well from Ziroy. So second gateway goes down for Killa. As we see that quick factory as usual. Marine also allows that factory to go up a little bit quicker. No CC for Ziroy yet either. Second gas isn't quite down as well. So we're probably going to see some sort of Hellion play. This is what makes sense the most, as eBay block into Hellion is kind of the only real strategy that you see off of an engineering bay block, as this is going to get cancelled just in time. But the gas steal is going to be successful from Ziroy. This Killa is kind of lacking that gas at the moment. The second gateway is available, but Killa doesn't quite have the gas to put down his first lot of tech, which is going to be quite difficult for Killa to deal with, especially with this. Any sort of aggression is going to be quite difficult for Killa to deal with just due to that lack of tech. It's a proxy starport, which is probably going to be some sort of liberator action to the main. And then we also see the two Hellions coming up from this factory as well. So a little bit of a cheeky starter here from Ziroy. Killa doesn't have a wall available, but there are also no probes actually in the natural, in the natural of Killa. This could, I say this, and it could actually be a medevac instead. This could be a 4 Hellion drop. Yeah, there we go. It's a medevac and a 4 Hellion drop. So a slight supply block, but managed to clean that up quite nicely. So yeah, I got a Hellion drop here. Looks like the factory is then going to swap back to the tech lab, and then the Hellions are going to make their way out just in time for this medevac. Is Killa aware of what's going on? Yes, he is semi-aware of what's going on. He's got the adepts in his mineral line. He's starting the pylon, which should give him some vision into this kind of area around his main base. Once this pylon finishes up, he'll get quite a good cone of vision as well. Second CC finish for Ziroy. The Hellions do drop into the base. They're not going to actually find any probes at the natural. And Ziroy's then decided, instead of having to deal with the Hellions in the... instead of having to go towards the main base, he's just going to try and drop the Hellions into the main mineral line of Killa here. But there is a battery available, so these Hellions need to start shooting together. The Oracle just starts up, starts shooting, activates that pulsar beam. Two Stalkers warped in, and that shoos this medevac away from Killa's main for now. Slightly down in supply, this one Hellion on 2 HP as well. The Oracle's going to go across the map. This was scouted by Ziroy, so he is going to be aware that something's going on. The Marines move into position. Cyclone also starts up as well. Oracle going to try and get towards the main bases. We see the Hellions actually run into the natural here, but they're going to pick up one probe. They're going to pick up into the medevac and just speed away. 2 SCVs, 3 SCVs. 4th SCV, so that's 4 SCVs down for Ziroy, and that's gonna even out the income graph just a little bit. As once these mules start firing, we're gonna see those minerals kind of even up a little bit. Slight advantage for Killa at the moment, but it's about right. The Cyclone is actually going to get wind of this Oracle, and the Oracle is going to go down, which is a nice pickup for Ziroy. There's another medevac being made from this starport, so that base goes down by Killa. Ziroy does see this, decides it's time to maybe try and poke him with the Hellions again, but now decides that he's going to fly the medevac away. So we're finally getting some sort of settled state in this game. Very chaotic opening to start with, but it seems like Killa has navigated the early game somewhat well. Needs to try and get that third base up as well. Decides to opts for charge to start with. He has also got a Phoenix out as well. And this Phoenix is just here to try and mop up any drops as they do come in. The Hellions have been dropped into the main base. But there are units in the mineral line available for Killa. The Phoenix is going to start targeting onto this medevac. There's 2 Phoenixes available as well. And this medevac's not actually going to make it away. Hellions decide to get picked up so they don't shoot. Well, essentially, so there's not enough Hellions to one-shot these probes through the battery, but the medevac is eventually going to go down as the Phoenixes should go and target that medevac at the back of the mineral line. Killa opting to not do that instead, so it's a little bit of an oversight there from Killa. Are these Phoenixes going to go across? No, medevac is going to actually get away, which is a little bit of an oversight. Phoenixes are... Ah, there we go. So Phoenixes are eventually going to start chasing after this medevac. There we go. Third medevac starting up. So Ziroy using this proxy starport to make some extra medevacs for himself. 3 probes at a time for Killa. Chrono boosting those probes out. So the worker count is going to accelerate slightly, well, quite heavily in favour of Killa, but this 2 base tank push definitely keeps you honest as a Protoss player. Stim isn't actually quite done yet. So provided there isn't, well, provided there's some delay from Killa on this push, then Stim, well, I mean, Killa isn't currently delaying this push, so Stim won't be finished by the time he gets across the map. So it's likely that Ziroy is probably going to try and set up first. Set up on this 3rd base. Yeah, there we go. He's going to set up with the bunkers. And then Stim is going to finish up probably about 20 seconds time. The combat shield is now finished. But Killa has managed to jump on top of these tanks. Has actually lifted one of the tanks up as well. The Zealots are going away at the units. The Cyclone is doing quite a bit of work here. Killa decides it's time to unengage. Kill the tank first. Now he's decided that he's going to start jumping on this Terran army again. He's done quite a really good job here cleaning up the Terran forces. We don't have Blink available yet, so the Stalkers can't blink after their medevac, but there is also Phoenixes available to clear up the rest of this push. The Cyclone will take down one of these Phoenixes. And the Bio is just sort of stepping away at the moment. There are also 5 SCVs going down. I believe this is from the push of Ziroy. It's not from any harass, but it looks like Ziroy's just decides that, you know, getting that push killed is enough for him to GG out of the first game. So the first game is going to go in favour of our Protoss player. So the second map is going to take us on to Incorporeal. This is a Protoss favoured map, as you can see by the statistics, the map statistics. GG. So we're going to head on to Incorporeal. So we're going to get all of the lobbies sorted out. I'm not going to put any music because these are quite quick turnover games. So Killa is ready to go. Ziroy is just waiting for Ziroy to be ready to go. Ziroy is ready to go. Right, let's go. Let's get this DeVoid logo in. We're going to head into map number 2. I'm just going to pop over to the gameplay screen in a second. So map number 2 takes us to a lovely, wonderful map with those gasless 10 mineral patch bases in the middle, which is Incorporeal. So, for the second time this series on Incorporeal, in the top left-hand corner, play for DeVoid with the purple Protoss probes. It's Killa. And in the bottom right-hand corner, playing for Red Dragons with that absolutely cool logo. Very cool logo, by the way. The yellow Terran player, British man, Ziroy. Need to fix the score because it should actually be... Shouldn't be this, it should be this instead. There we go. And I'm on Ziroy's point of view. Everybody, production tab, we're all sorted. Right, production value at its finest. So nothing out of the ordinary from Ziroy as of yet. He is going to actually, I say that, he's going to proxy a barracks behind his mineral line, in his natural, that is. And this is a common trick to fake a proxy. It's just whether the Protoss player comes in and scouts whether the barracks are behind the mineral line or not. When Killa comes past, so that's a good choice to begin with, to look at the watchtower. But when Killa comes into here, he's gonna come up here, start attacking the depot. He's gonna see double gas. So first thing he's gonna scout for is the gas. He's then gonna scout for whether there is a orbital or not. And then the next thing that hopefully Killa will do is then scout behind this natural mineral line. This is one of the moves which a lot of inexperienced players, including myself, miss out quite a lot, is looking around the natural mineral line. So Killa sees that there is an instant orbital command. So at the moment, Killer's thinking there isn't more than 2 barracks on the map. So Killer is actually unaware that the barracks are going behind the mineral line. He thinks that the barracks has been proxied, so I'm not sure what Killer's going for at the moment. He's just decided to play normal. So he senses that there's an instant orbital. He's happy to defend the low ground with whatever he's got. It just starts at warp gate immediately, starts an adept as well. So Killer isn't actually thrown off by whatever Ziroy is doing right now. As the quick factory comes up, so this is it's quick. I say it's quick for 1 gas, but for 2 gas, it's very very standard. Next, saying, "Come on, Killer, you got this." Yeah, very good support there for the DeVoid boys as the CC starts up relatively late for the double gas. Only a couple seconds, but still a couple seconds that matter as the Reaper comes across the map. Killer opting to keep his adept at home. The reason why you want to do this is in case it is some sort of 3 Reaper, 2 Hellion shenanigans, which in this case it is, because we can tell by the reactor on this barracks here and also by the Hellion. And the second Hellion that's probably going to come out of this factory right now, no, decides to go for a Tech Lab instead. Interesting. So he's going to, okay. So he's going to go Tech Lab. He's then going to swap it over with the Starport and probably go for Banshees, considering that the workers are back onto gas. That's my guess. That's my educated guess. Is this factory going to lift? No, he goes for Cyclone instead. Interesting. Ziroy really duping me here as a quick supply block is going to hamper any progress that Ziroy makes towards his build order. Instead goes for that 2 Reaper, 1 Hellion instead. There is no wall here for Killer, but there is a battery on the low ground. This Reaper Hellion is going to make its way into the natural though, as my Control-Shift-F is not working, so I'll have to do it manually. Really nice from Killer here. He's going to lose 1 or 2 probes, but the battery is doing decent work here as he's kind of blocking the ramp. I don't know if you guys saw, but he blocked the ramp with the units, and that stopped any Reapers and Hellions making their way into the main base. So he only ends up losing 2 probes in the end. He's probably going to pick up, he's at least picked up the Reaper. He may pick up the Hellion, but the Hellion's going to actually go away. Go Ziroy, I bet on every Terran player. Welcome, Winty. Nice to see you. He's a man. He's a Terran fan. Winty, if you can't already guess, is a Terran stan, Terran fan, and whatever else rhymes with fan or stan. Adept Shade. He's going to see what the follow-up is. Oh, no depot closure for Ziroy there. So Killer is going to see the Starport. He's going to see the Starport researching as well. But does he see it? That's the real question. So it is in his vision now. He sees the Tech Lab, but doesn't quite see the Tech Lab. Is the Robo available? There is no Robo. Yes, there is a Robo. So the observers are starting up. So Killer knows that there is, he's seen, or at least in his game vision, there is a Starport that is researching with a Tech Lab. So it's okay to assume that there's some kind of Banshee. It just depends if Killer really saw what was going on. Most of the time, this is a Banshee with Cloak. Sometimes it is a Raven with Interference Matrix, but most of the time, especially in this matchup at the moment, it's more popular to go for those Cloak Banshees instead. So there are observers available, and Killer has played against Ziroy in the past, so Killer does know that Ziroy is a little bit impartial. A little bit partial to some Cloak Banshees, as he pops his Stalkers back into the main. So he senses something's going on. He knows there's some kind of unit or some kind of air unit coming from Ziroy, but instead decides to pop his Stalkers across the map instead. So the main thing here is there going to be an observer available in the main base for Killer? He might have to recall one of his observers. Oh, never mind. There's an observer on the left-hand side. He's going to see those 2 Banshees. Is Killer aware? Killer is not aware. So he hasn't quite seen. He's going to be aware now. He's going to need to pull away probes. This is 5 probes going down already. It's quite a slow reaction from Killer there. So 8 probes are going to go down. 9 probes. Oh, the gas actually cancelling the Banshee shot there, which is unintentional, but still quite a cool mechanic. I bet on Zerg even when there is no Zerg. Malakis, you're probably just going to lose some money then, my friend, aren't you? Banshee's just chilling. Ziroy not actually making a third 2C, so it looks like there's going to be some other kind of 2-base push. These Cloak Banshees can be quite annoying with this 2-base push, but it looks like Ziroy is going to wait for +1, +1 infantry attacks, and then going to go across with that 2-base push. The Observer just gets the hell out of dodge as the Banshees pop their way back into the main base. But Killa is in position, is aware of what's going on. It does take a few free hits onto these Banshees. Now, if these Banshees want to be used in the attack, which it looks like they are going to be, then they're going to need to be repaired. But there are no SCVs being pulled at the moment. Killa basically just wants to try and delay this push as much as possible. If he gets a Marine, that's excellent. If he doesn't get a Marine, it's not too bad. Charge is finished. The Banshees are on the side. They're still close, so they're using a lot of that energy, which they shouldn't be. And the push is stalling out just a little bit for Ziroy. Just waiting for that +1 weapon. Ziroy really needs to get going with this push. Otherwise, he's going to lose that window. There is also a medevac drop making its way towards the main base of Killa. This could do some damage whilst Killa has got all of his forces at the front. Quick scan from Ziroy doesn't confirm the position of the army. So Ziroy is going to instead decide to just go home. Unless he decides to go back instead. There are units available in the main base. So there is a drop. There's a 1 medevac drop and also a Banshee as well. Some of the forces have been split off from Killa here. He's going to warp in an extra round of Zealots as the Stalkers take out the Banshee. The Marauders are going to go towards the natural and they're going to pick up at least 1 probe. No, they're going to decide to drop out instead. The medevac's going to go towards the 3rd base location. Oh, not quite getting sniped there. 1 Stalker hit away from being killed, but the medevac is going to actually get away? No. Killa targets down the medevac and also kills the Marauder as well. It's the push from Ziroy hasn't really been a push. It's just kind of sat in the middle of the map. There's not really much going on here. And Killa kind of decides this is a time for him to try and pounce on this army before it gets set back up into position at home. So Killa is actually, well, roughly equal in supply. There's a slight army supply advantage for Ziroy, but a lot of this army is actually in medevacs at the moment. As there is a double medevac drop going into the main base. Killa does see this happening. But are there any warpins available? No. But the armies are firing on the other side of the map. And it looks like Killa can kind of just move through the army outside the natural of Ziroy here as the men drop in the main base. Isn't currently doing anything. Just a couple of gateways getting sniped. A few Zealots are now available to clean up this bio. This bio is probably going to get forced to pick up as in the natural, there's SCVs that have been pulled and they've all been killed as 30 SCVs have gone down. The Protoss army of Killa is just smashing through the natural here and it looks like Game 2 might go in the favour of Killa as well. Yeah, there we go. GG. There is no greater cost than my life for the Swarm. Spoken like a true Zerg player. Game 2 goes towards Mr. Killa. So we're going to pop on to map number 3. Map number 3 is going to take us on to Maganatha, which is a larger map in this map pool. It's a larger map. So potentially a little bit more cheese. Who knows? Who knows? There's a lot of proxy spots on Maganatha, so potentially could see a few cheeky proxies from Ziroy. There is one build, which I'm not going to mention, but if it comes up, it's a certain build where 2 racks are proxied. But if that build comes up, I'll be quite happy to see it. Killa just requesting a 1-minute break, so we're going to pop some music on. Yeah, Killa just needs to go to the toilet. That's all good. So we're going to pop some music on. And I'll be back with you guys very soon. What's up, Dizzy Dwarf? Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. We're on to game number 3, which takes us on to Maganatha, which is a map inspired or for the, I guess, almost in the glory of a certain GM player called Maganath. So the map creator is quite a big fan or quite a big friend of the GM player Maganath. But let me just fix the in-game scores as well. So we need to go 0 and then 2, so we're currently 2-0 for Mr. Killa. As we mentioned, Mr. Killa in the top left-hand corner for the 3rd time this series, currently on match point for the show match. It's DeVoid's Killa. And then the bottom right-hand corner already sending out a probe. Already sending out an SCV, which has made a proxy barriers in that speed zone. We've got the yellow Terran player from Red Dragons, or RD. It's Ziroy. The Killer's probe going to pop across the map. It's going to see that there's a lack of building in the in the main base of Ziroy. This time, there is genuinely no building in the main base, as there's also a double gas opener for Ziroy. So double gas, proxy racks. There is only one barracks at the moment. So Killer's just going to stick around to see whether there is any orbital, or is he going to go behind the natural as well? Yeah. So he sees the instant orbital. So this instant orbital means that there aren't more than 2 barracks on the map. If this orbital is instant, there is not enough minerals in Ziroy's bank to make more than 2 barracks straight away across the map. Killa is probably sensing that there's some kind of shenanigans going on. There is also an SCV, which is probably going to try and make a bunker. Yeah, there we go. There's a bunker. So a little bit of shenanigans here from Ziroy. The probe needs to catch the bunker going up. He's not actually quite sure what's going on. Okay, Killa is going to catch the SCV with the Adept instead. I'm not sure if this Adept is going to be able to kill the SCV in time. We'll see. The Reaper coming out from Ziroy is going to try and protect this SCV, but isn't quite going to see. There we go. So the Adept is going to go... Wow, he's going to start chasing after the SCV. The Shade finishes, which is not good for Killa. He's going to lose a couple of probes. He needs to chrono out the Stalker. Otherwise, there's going to be multiple probes. He's been forced to pull probes off the mineral line. As the Adept is going to go straight across the map for Killa. He's probably using this to scout whether there is a natural or not, which is quite a clever move. I mean, there are a couple of probes that have gone down, but the 2 Reapers from Ziroy are going to make a little bit of havoc, as the bunker probably needs to get cancelled by Ziroy if he has enough or wants enough minerals. There we go. He's already made his CC. The Adept sees there's no natural. Is he going to let this finish? I think he should. I think he should let it finish, because that Adept is... Okay, so Killa is currently unaware of what's going on. Does he see... Oh, he does see the CC. Never mind. So the Shade did get vision of the CC. I do apologize. Killa with the, if your opponent is doing something silly, go effing kill them. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what's going on. That's kind of what happened in the last game. There was a nice, to be fair, that was a really nice tank push from Ziroy, if it hit at the time that he wanted it to. Just feel like the push kind of stalled out, but there also probably wasn't enough Terran to actually deal with all the Protoss that was available for Protoss. The next barrack, a barracks is getting floated towards what looks like the natural ramp of Killa, as we see a Cyclone making its way out. And another factory as well. So are we going to see some battle mech from Ziroy here? Mech incoming from Ziroy. Yeah, I think so as well. Yeah. Probably going to see some kind of battle mech, I believe. Interesting choice. This, by the way, this match is played... so the maps are played on... Observer++, but they're specifically played on a on a patch of Observer++, which patches the Cyclone bug. So the Cyclone bug, for those of you that are unaware, the lock-on, where are they? These lovely babies. The lock-on of these units here, once my follow button decides to work, there we go. So the lock-on for these individual units here, the cooldown between lock-ons is actually 0.7 seconds faster than it should be. So this version of Observer++ has actually fixed that bug. So the lock-ons should be working as intended. So these Cyclones will be a little bit weaker than the versions that are available on ladder. There is actually a battery available for Killa. A second battery is also going to be made available. He's going to pick up one of those Cyclones for the price of nothing as of yet. This Stalker needs to blink backwards, though. The Barracks is also kind of just getting in the way, acting as like an A move sort of sponge for these Cyclones here, as these two Stalkers are going to be forced to blink backwards if Killa's paying attention. Oh, it does pick up one of those Stalkers kind of just for free. I mean, the Barracks does get picked up, but Ziroy has got 4 Cyclones available. He's making 2 of them at a time at the moment as a Barracks and a Starport starts up for Ziroy. So is that 7-minute push going to be a bio base? That's my question. I think the Barracks is kind of just there because, okay. So if we look in the structures tab, there's no barracks available. So Ziroy actually needs to make a barracks before he can make a factory again, because of the Terran tech tree, right? So once you build a factory, you still need to keep the barracks alive. Otherwise, you can't build any more factories. Are we going to see a tech lab on this starport? That's my guess. Yes. Are we going to see this tech lab make cloak? That's my guess. Stalkers on the left-hand side. I just realised we're really zoomed in. Stalkers on the left-hand side of the map. Killa deciding he's just going to pop up to 3 base. Did the base get sniped, or did I miss something? Is these two armies are actually going to miss each other? Ziroy knows where the Protoss army is. Killa is kind of sniffing out that Ziroy knows. He is going to actually manage to charge onto one of these. One of these Cyclones for free. As Killa also has the option of blinking on one of these Cyclones. The charge is going to cause one of the Zealots to go towards these Cyclones. One of these Zealots is going to get picked up, but these 2 Cyclones are going to make their way onto the left-hand side of the map. But Killa just decides it's time to go kill his opponent. There's just not enough Terran here at the moment. SCVs are probably going to have to be pulled off the line. As the Cyclones are able to go back into the main base and kite these Zealots infinitely, or at least somewhat infinitely. There we go. We see some workers pulled off the line. The Cloak Banshees are going to be made available. This Banshee is also... this is really frustrating for Killa here. The SCVs get through in a really small gap. That's a shame because there's a lot of SCVs that could have been made available to be killed by Killa. But the Banshee is here. The Zealots are going to get us around on one of the Cyclones. And is also going to kill the second Cyclone. So a little bit of dodgy control there from Ziroy. This doesn't look good for Ziroy. He's currently 20 supply down. He's down to 7 SCVs as well. As the CC is going to try and land and act as a little A-move shield. But Killa just decides it's time to bite the bullet. Blinks on top of the Banshee and picks up the win for the 3rd game between Killa and Ziroy. I'm going to ask these players if they wanted to play a few more or whether they want to carry on. Because we could play a few. Ask them if they want to play the last 2 for fun. No, Ziroy does not want to play the last 2 for fun. So that means the winner of our show match between Killa and Ziroy, going with the way that MMR kind of thought we thought this match would kind of go in that way. As Ziroy is a 4.9 player, so he has hit 4.9 today on the ladder, but Killa has also consistently been above 5k. And is nearly 5.1k. It's just a shame because when this show match was actually proposed between both of them, they were quite similar in MMR. I mean, Ziroy was nearly 4.8, and Killa was 4.9. So it's a shame it's kind of, became an 0.3 for Ziroy. But it's still a little bit of fun here and there. We've only really been going for 36 minutes, which is quite annoying. But, is what it is. Next show match is going to be next Saturday at 6:30 Central European Time. That will feature the man himself in chat, Winter Graphics or Winty or Winter or whatever spelling of his name, Zima, whatever spelling you want to use. It will feature Winter and it will feature Hydra as well. OK Hydra, who is a Zerg player. So that will be our next show match. And then the week after will feature DeVoid's Zister versus a very well-known Terran player from the NA region who has very significant links with the Amateur League, which is Defiance. So we're going to see Defiance and we're going to see We're going to see Defiance and we're going to see System go in, and they're going to be playing against each other in 2 weeks' time. But welcome everyone. Thank you very much for catching the stream today. No Rage SC, nice to see you again. We got Copper as well. Welcome, welcome. We've also got CJ. Hey CJ, sorry that you missed a lot of the action. The VOD will be available, and I will also be posting the VOD onto YouTube. So if you missed all of the action, you will still be able to catch it on the VOD, or also on the VOD on YouTube as well. But unless that's unless anything else is coming, then thank you very much for coming today, guys, and I wish you all the best. Have a great weekend. Those of you that go into Epic Land very soon, I wish you the best time. I hope you guys don't G-gen too much. Make sure you look after yourselves. But apart from that, thank you very much, guys. I will see you guys for the show match next week between Winty and OK Hydra. It'll be our first Zerg versus Terran of all the show matches, and then we've got another one the week after between System and Defiance as well. So 4K gamers going at it instead. See you later, guys.